Yeah, hi. Good morning to everyone. So, is it audible for you guys? Just please confirm me once so that I can start the session. Okay, thank you. So, let's start our session in such case. Sorry. Okay. So, in yesterday's session, let's take just few minutes for yesterday's session revising, and then we will see the continuation to that. Okay. So, as part of yesterday's session, we are discussed. So simply the leftover primitive data types. What is the difference between float and double? So it's all about the range of fraction values. That is what about the float and double. Float range will be less, double range will be more with respect to the dot values when you want to store the fraction values, floating values. Okay, so it's all about fractional numbers point of view differentiated. Float is less range, double is big range. So these two data types going further in Java language, remember as the thumb rules. Okay, so whenever you want to deal with some kind of floating values, you have to go always with float and double data types for that variables. Your variable is taking floating values, in the sense you have to choose either float or double. Similarly, your variable is choosing only plain values, integer values. So then you have to choose based on the value range for that variable. What are the possible values of minimum and maximum value? So based on that, you have to choose out of these four, one. Byte, short, int, long, like that. Okay. So that is what we discussed yesterday. And after that, I discussed with one more data type called as char also. Char is nothing but in our Java language, Java provided a special data type when you want to deal with single characters, only single character. So if you have more than one character, then again that story is different. So only to deal with single character also, they given a data type called as char data type. So in future, whenever your program, your logic is expecting a single character value, then you can utilize this. Just a second. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so we can utilize this data type. So like this we can use it. But the rule is we have to pass always single characters inside the single quotes. So single character, single quotes. So this is the rule. Otherwise you will get the compile time error. Otherwise compiler Java will say like this is the rule defined for the character data type. So if you are not given single quotes, you will get the compile time error. Your program will not be compiled. So that automatically your program will not be executed because you will not have the dot class file. That's the reason. So after that we taken the last one of the primitive data type called as Boolean. And Boolean is all about, it's all about to deal with the data true and value. So that means in Java, whenever we are going further, if you want to take some data like whether it is a true or false data, yes or no data kind of thing, so then we have to choose Boolean. But here in Java for the Boolean data type, see, until 7 data types, value is human choice. It's not, you can give small a, you can give capital A, you can give A to Z, whatever you want. And similarly, float and all, you can give any value, whatever you want, right? But here, when it comes to Boolean, data type Boolean, values are reserved. So only two values reserved for this data type. Out of those two, you have to use always one. One is either true or second one is false. So as part of this Boolean variable, you have to use always only one value always. That is fine, that we know that one variable, one value. And the value also reserved by Java language with two values, either true or false. So you have to make sure every time you have to use either true or false. And you should not make sure, again, case sensitive Java languages, that's why you should not make sure I'll give capital T, something like this. These are all invalid values. Only in the lowercase point of view, true and false are valid values for the Boolean data type variable. So only true or false you have to write down. If you are trying to give any other thing, then you will get compile time error. So that means your program will not execute. So that is what the data types they given here it is. Okay. So after that, I just explain you where to use semicolons, where we should not use the semicolons, and what is the point of curly braces. These are all we discussed. I'm not discussing again much here. It's a very simple straightforward. Simply, curly braces will represent a block. Block is nothing but a group of instructions to execute to achieve some task, to implement some task, to implement some requirement. We will write some group of statements or instructions. Those are all enclosed by the curly braces. So that entire logic, whatever is enclosed in between the curly braces, we will call it as a block. So this is class opening, class ending. So this in between this is all comes under the block of class, block of lines. Now this is comes under the method point of view, main method. So in between main method, this is method block, method logic, main method logic. This is add method logic. So group of statements, statement number one, line number two, instruction one, something like that. So this is called as a block. And if condition, tomorrow after some point of time, we will write if conditions. There you inside the if condition, you will write some logic. So then this is if block. Similarly, you will write down try blocks. You will write down the catch block. So block is nothing but a group of lines, a group of instructions, a group of logic statements. What you are writing is called as block. So whenever you are opening the block, whenever you are closing the block, you should not use any time semicolons. But at the end of every statement, you have to use the semicolon. I told you every statement inside block should be ended with semicolon always. So whether you are defining a variable, whether you are printing something, whatever you are doing, integer c equal to a plus b operations, whatever it is, these are all in between the block. So these statements should be always ended with semicolon. So that is how you have to remember the semicolon point of view. Anyway, you are going to practice thousands of programs until your entire Java full stack is completed. By the time you will get very clear picture. But this is a thumb rule. You can remember like this without confusion from today onwards. Okay. Now, so this is all a small example given to that. Now, after that, we move to one more important concept. So whenever I discussed about data types, I told you in Java language, the data is classified into two types. Data types classified into two types. One is primitive data type, second one is non-primitive data types. So we are done with the primitive data types, 8 variables we are having. And second part is non-primitive data types, and we started discussing about the non-primitive data types. So this is all yesterday class, we are just revising it. So except 8 primitive data types, in Java language, everything is coming under the non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types. For example, we are going to use today a class called as string. So string is a class. I'm saying like it is a class, but this class is not created by developer. This class is created by the Java team, Java language team. This class is provided by the Java language. So this class is implemented by the Java language. So similarly, as a developer point of view, whatever the classes we are writing, student, employee, customer, contractor, account holder, patient, order details, product details, like that, going further, whatever the Java classes we are going to write down, even those classes also we can consider it as a data type. So that's why yesterday we understood one point. Every class is a data type. Like that, I given you some statement. We will see that. The most important, guys, this is also. And in future, you will get a concept called as arrays concept. That is also a comes under the non-primitive data types. Classes means whatever the Java classes we are already writing, those are all comes under the classes. Student.java, primitive data types.java, first program.java, data types.java. So these are all classes. So now this class is a data type. So how and all, I'll explain you. So after that, we try to understand. So again, primitive data types is classified into two types, guys. That's why we understood yesterday this one. What it is in primitive data types, we have two types of data types. Predefined data types. Primitive is again, sorry, non-primitive is considered again as two types again. Sub user defined data types. So the entire non-primitive data types is again classified into two categories. One is predefined, one is user defined. So then I explain you what is that point of predefined, what is the point of user defined. So simple rule. Predefined in the sense, as part of your practice, as part of your software application development, whatever the classes you are not implemented but you are using in your project, or whatever given by the Java language, simply I can say like Java language, whatever the pre classes already implemented by the Java team, Java language, and whatever the classes in future you will get a concept called as interfaces. So interfaces as well as annotations, enums, like that, you will get a lot of concepts. So these are all comes under the non-primitive data types, and even these are all already implemented by the Java language. That means already implemented by the Java language and provided to the developers. Use this class for this purpose, use this class for this purpose, use this class for this purpose. Like that, they implement a lot of classes for different scenarios, and they provided to the they provided to the Java developers. So now Java developer in their application point of view, we will use those classes from the Java language. Those classes will be called as predefined. Pre means before you are starting your application itself, those classes are already defined. Those are all called as predefined, and some people will call it as built-in also. What it is? Built-in. Sometimes some people will ask in this way. I mean, they will explain this way also, or they will ask you like this also. Built in. So what is the point of built-in? Same thing, predefined point of view. So it's already built inside the Java language. It's already built inside the Java language. Those classes will be called as built-in classes. For example, I told you one of the class string class. Yesterday I shown you 5000 lines of logic is there in the string class. But this class is not implemented by us. This class is created by the Java team, Java language, for a purpose. What is the purpose? We will see right now after this discussion. So string is also a class, but it is a predefined. So that means I can call string as a built-in class also. So who implemented string? Java team. So that's why it is a predefined class or built-in class. Student is a predefined class? No. Why? Because student class is written by me, written by the Dilip or you. So that means this is not a Java, this class is not implemented by the Java team. This is implemented by the developer. So that's why it will not come under the predefined. It will not come under the predefined. So no. Right? So we can going further as part of your Java language, not only Java, upcoming advanced Java, Spring Boot, Hibernate, wherever you go, hundreds of predefined classes and interfaces you will find out. So we will use all those as part of our requirements implementation in Spring Boot or Java, advanced Java, everywhere. Okay, so please remember the difference between predefined versus user defined. Now user defined also same thing what we discussed yesterday. It's just opposite to this, except primitives. Except predefined classes, interfaces, whatever as a developer you are creating on your own. Okay, and whatever the programs you created on your own, those are all comes under the user defined. User in the sense developer. So developer point of view. So as a developer, I written 5 to 6 Java classes in the practice point of view. If I'm going to my real-time Java project, the entire developers, my team written almost thousands of Java classes. So those are all thousands of Java classes comes under the user defined, because those are all defined by the developers for to achieve some purposes, to achieve some requirements, but not the Java language. Those classes, those interfaces comes under the user defined. So please remember that point. So now string is a user defined means no. Why? The reason is the class is created and implemented by the Java team. It's not you. That's why it's not a user defined. It's a predefined. It's a built-in. Similarly, student is a user defined. Yes, Dilip created that class or you created that class. That's why it's a user defined. Not only classes, guys. Tomorrow you will have some, methods concept and all. So in a predefined class, you will have predefined methods. So remember the difference between predefined versus user defined. So that word is applicable for classes level, interfaces level, variables level, methods level, annotations level, enums level, etc., etc., etc. But only thing is predefined means already implemented by the Java. User defined means the implemented by the developer. Developer is nothing but you and me. Okay, so that is all. Simply you can remember the difference. Okay, now after that, This is all you will understand slowly when you are using the Eclipse editor. We will see that. Now after that I told you every object name is a variable name. Why? Because if you see here, this is the syntax of object creation for a Java class. So when you return a student class, student Dilip new student. So in this case, the right hand side part is all about an object created in the JVM memory. Created in the JVM memory. Yeah, so now let's concentrate. Our extended topic is going to start. Yeah. So here what happened? An object of student is created in the JVM memory. And for that you given a name. Yeah, we given a name called as Dilip. So name means what? Variable name. So generally earlier when you written integer age equal to 25 or 30 whatever it is. So in this case 30 is a value, age is a variable, integer is a data type. So what you understood from this? Integer is a data type. Age is a variable name. 30 is a value. So if you are observing same with respect to object creation point of view also, same signature it is following. Same syntax it is following. So that means the right hand side one, the entire one including new is nothing but representing a Java object in the JVM memory. So object means overall object. Overall it's an object. So that means if I am taking that as a value, the object itself has a value, the overall object itself has a value. So that means this object is referred by the name called as Dilip. Okay, name called as Dilip, or like student S2 equal to new student. So that means in this case S2 is a variable name, but you created in the situation of object creation. So that's why I given a statement like every object name also you can consider as a variable name. Variable name. In this case S2 is a variable name. In this case Dilip is a variable name. So the object is being referred by the object of student class is referred by the variable called as S2. So that's why I given a statement called as every object is a variable name. Similarly, I given one more statement also. Every class is a data type. So that means yes, right? So in this case, what integer point of view? Data type. Whatever int you return, int double like that, this is calling as a data type. So data type followed by variable name. So similarly, class name followed by the object name. So object name I am calling it as a, we can consider it as a variable also. Similarly, class name we are considering as a data type. So that's why non-primitive data types, as part of non-primitive data types, we are saying like every class is a non-primitive data type. And out of non-primitive also some of the classes are given by the Java language, some of the classes we are going to implement. Those are all, it's all difference between the, so for example, string s1 equal to new string. So in this case, I created an object for the string class by using this. Now in this case, same thing. What only thing is string is a predefined class, student is a user defined class. But ultimately concept is same. Whether you implemented, whether Java is implemented, class is a class, object is a object, concept is a concept. Only thing is, as a developer, you are writing some classes, and Java language also given some of the classes to us to use as part of our logic implementation. Well, that is the difference. But overall concept point of view, class is class, object is object, variable is variable. So that is how you have to understand this subject. Okay. So this is what we discussed yesterday, and let's see the continuation to that. Okay. So now, please, very important. If you are good with, I'm telling you guys, if you are good with variables and methods, concepts, thoroughly, you can write other things very easily. So I'm telling you, so many people are still failing writing proper variables and as well as methods, and including methods and variables concepts. That means the next 1 week classes are very important. Out by including variables and methods only, your entire Java language is designed. So that's why please remember, please concentrate, please practice. Okay. So now if you observe here, okay, now we are discussing about non-primitive. When it comes to the primitive data types, We saw something like first four data types are dealing with the numeric values, or six data types out of eight. Six, right? Integer, short, double, float, all this numeric. Second one is char, single character. And then last one is boolean we discussed, and it is all about true or false. Then for example, how to store alphabet values, alphanumeric values. So how to store alphabet values or alphanumeric values, alphanumeric values or something including specials, alphanumeric symbol values, whatever it is. So how to store those? For example, okay, I have to store, I need to take a value called as Dilip Singh. I want to store a value called as Java. Values, I'm talking about values. So if I said like, please store this value 100, then immediately will say, sir, I can take integer a equal to 100, valid. Sir, I can take short b equal to 100, yes, valid. So these are all representing the numeric value. That's why you take an integer and short. But now I'm saying like how to store this value. So from above 8, I cannot use anything. 6 are representing with only numeric. You cannot give the alphabets. Character is representing alphabet only, but only single character. But if you have more than one character, spacious, okay, more than one character, Dilip, okay, Dilip 1, 2, 3, Dilip, or so just something like Java 2024, 21 version. So Dilip at the rate gmail.com. So that means at the rate symbol is there, dot symbol is there. So you alphanumeric values, something like that. So this kind of values, how to store it. Yes. So that to deal with other than numeric data, other than single character and boolean data, to deal with any other values in our real life also, mostly we will encounter these two types of data. One is plain numbers, floating numbers. Yes, that is covered here. Sometimes single character. Yes, that is also covered here. And apart from that, you will get always this kind of real values. So to deal with this, Java language provided a class called as string class. See, the 8 primitive data types, whatever you understood, int, short, long, all these are not classes. Those are all not called, those are all not a classes. So I'll tell you, there is a concept available, literal concepts. Those will be called as literals point of view. So what is literals? I'll explain you later. For this, after learning the string also, I'll explain you what is literal and all. But simply what you have to remember is whatever the 8 primitive data types you learned, those are all not Java classes. Okay, they are calling it as literals point of view. What and all we will see that. But here, whatever the string I am taking, that is always a Java class. That is always a Java class. So yesterday I shown you the logic of string class also. If you want, I can show you. You will also see later point of time. Now string is a class. Yes, by using string, we can store any value. We can store any value. So that means by using string, we can store all these values. We can store alphabet values, alphanumeric symbols values. We can store any values inside a string variable. So by using string data type, so we have to use a data type called as string data type. And by using string data type, we can store any data type. We can store any values. But string, in this case, string is given as a class, implemented as a Java class by the Java team. You are not doing anything. Now, for example, see here, as per our variable syntax, first we will define the data type and then variable name equal to value, right? So like see here, string name equal to, I given double quotes. So that means again here you have to follow a rule. What is that rule is? In Java, string data type values should be enclosed with double quotes always, or in between double quotes, or whatever it is, in between double quotes always. There is no choice like that. Always. So what is the rule is string values should be enclosed. Enclosed means in between the double quotes we have to keep always value. So that's why it's a valid value. Okay. So yes, now it's a valid. For example, if you say like sir, I will write down string variable name. I told you already. It's your choice. Name to equal to. If you written like Dilip or Java, whatever it is, it's a invalid. Invalid, you will get compile time error. So what error you will get? Compile time error. Why? Java given a rule like please decide always values. Make whenever you are initializing a real value to the variable of string data type, you have to use always double quotes. In between the double quotes, you have to pass the value. So this is the value of real value. But Java language is saying like please pass always inside the double quotes. In between the double quotes, whatever you passed, that will be considered as a Java, that variable name. For example, in this case, what will happen in the JVM memory point of view? So here, actual value is Dilip. So in the memory level, I'll tell you what are the memories available also. We will introduce. So actual value is Dilip, not the double quotes. Understand the point. There is no double quotes for the variable called as name. So if I am printing again, what is the value available inside the name memory level, name variable level, you will see output as Dilip. So you will see output as Dilip. Why? Java saying like pass the value inside the double quotes, but it doesn't mean like double quote is also part of your value. So it's not like that. Just remember that. Okay. So these things people are going to confuse more and more. Just remember. Now you are not passing value in the double quotes. Your intention is you are passing Java value for this variable. That's correct. But Java is saying I'll store only Java into memory. I'll consider always Java only. But please pass me inside double quotes. So if you are not passing inside the double quotes, then Java compiler itself say, hey man, you are not following the rule like string value should be enclosed in between the double quotes. So that's why it's a invalid. Now see here some examples I'll write down. String email equal to yes, always double quotes. Dilip it@gmail.com. Something like that. Yes. So string, whatever it is, website equal to HTTP, something like that. HTTP s colon slash slash www.google.com. So yes, and ended with semicolon. Because these are all comes under the statements, variable declaration. So you will always have a semicolon. That's a different story. So these are all valid values. So why? It will allow alphabet values, numeric values, special symbol, symbols also. So that's why alphabets, symbols, alphabet, symbol, alphabet, symbol, alphabets, whatever it is. So similarly, you can give like Dilip IT 123 at the rate symbols. Any kind of data will be stored inside this string. So that's why in Java language, string is having a lot of importance. And string on top of string, there are very, very, very important interview topics are there with respect to string class. So I will discuss those, but not now. For that, you need some other knowledge also. What is memory point of view and all. So one fine day, we will see one concept like string memory management. So for that, you are not in the right stage to understand what it is. String memory management, string pool, string constant pool, SCM, that will be called SCP, that will be called as string constant pool. This is also one of the important point of view. String constant pool, and string is immutable. So what is immutable also you cannot understand right now. That's what I'm telling you. These are all very, 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 that's what I tell you. String is having a lot of importance in entire Java language. That means 95%, 99 percentage, I'm telling you, without, very rare case, without string data type variables, data types, variables, you will not have a program. You will not have, you will not have a real time program. So that means that much heavily we will use the string data type variables in our Java classes going further. So if you see here, this is what Java class I talked yesterday, string class. So this is all implemented by the whom? Java team, Java language, Oracle. So that means this class is implemented by the Java team, string class, public class string. If you observe here, it is. So public class string. Leave about final, leave about implements. You will understand all this slowly. Okay. But they are saying like why this class is implemented and all, that's what, whatever it is. But once you are learning your Java going further, for example, wherever you go, you will see always whatever it is. Collection framework is also Java concept. So if you see here, I mean, generally string is the most powerful. See, that's what even your main method is having string. I'm sorry, I forgot that point. I told you something, you are going to learn after some point of time what is string. Now string is nothing but a data type. So this string is whatever the string we are talking right now. So that is what I told you, 99%. That's why I used this word. 99% without the string, it's very impossible to write down a Java program. I mean, impossible in the sense you can write down. I'm talking about real-time project point of view. When there is something you have to implement in the sense, definitely somehow string will be involved. So that is what my point here it is. It's not like not possible, but 99% string will be used heavily wherever you go. See, string data type, string data type. Even now onwards, I will also use everywhere string. Because why? The primitives are dealing with only numeric values. But in real life, we will have different types of data. Alphabets, characters, special symbols, combination of alphabets and numbers. So those are all only managed always by this string data type. That's why string is very important. And string is having a lot of important topics also, internal working behavior of string. And you know, string value will be assigned in two ways. String value assigned in two ways. One way we already saw that, like this, value assignment. One, so that means why I'm noting all these things is I will discuss these things in the right time, but not that this is the not right time. Okay, I will discuss, to be discussed. That's why I'm just making a note. So one is calling as literal way. Second one is by using constructor. So second way is constructor. So that means string name, I'm just giving you the importance. The same thing I can do like this also. String name equal to new string Dilip. So I assigned name variable level a value Dilip, name level a variable value. So value called as Dilip. So two ways we can create the string values. First thing is we are learning. Okay, this will be called as literals way. So that is what I'm just using right now. So we will continue with this approach only. But in the right time, I'll discuss second approach because to understand this approach, first of all, you should know this will be called as a constructor argument. So that means you should know a concept called as constructor. Second concept called as constructor. So that means you should know what is a constructor. Then only you can understand this concept. So that's why let's go with this approach right now, like however you did for the primitive data types point of view. String is a class. That's why you are able to create the object. That's why you are able to create the object. But you can assign directly like this also. So again, in between these two types of declaration, this concept will come. String constant pool or string memory management. So this is all a big story around this string data type class, string class. So we will discuss in the right way. It will take minimum 1 hour, 1.5 hour session to discuss all these points clearly, and we will discuss later. So you can remind me also after some point of time once you are done with the especially constructors you have to complete. So you can remind me maybe if I forget it. So no problem, I'll take it up there. Okay, so note it down. I'll search with the letter 2BD, then automatically we can find out. That's why I will write down these words. So whatever pending one, we will write down like this. Those things we will be discussed. 2BD, to be discussed like that. Okay, so fine. So now let's come back to the concept. So this is how you are going to define the string data. So let's take an example. So new Java class I am writing, new text document, string demo dot java. Okay, so my training will go like this only, always in a very real time perspective point of view. So I told you class name should be file name. So that means string demo. Okay, opening class, ending class. In between that, you will write main method, public, static, void, main, and then opening method, closing method. So now here you are writing something like string. That is the string only we are discussing now. That is the string only we are discussing, but you don't know what is this symbols again. This is called as array representation. You will come back that one also. So this will be called as argument name. So that is also you will understand why we are writing all these things and all slowly. Okay, now see here I am writing string name equal to Dilip, and then I'll write down printing it system dot out dot println. So print it. What, see, when you are printing the value of a variable, you have to pass variable directly. You don't need to give the double quotes, single quotes again. See, understand the point. That is what I would like to discuss here again. Now in this case, when you return also integer age equal to 30. So what you are doing, you define a integer variable and I need to print that. So system dot out dot println, system dot out dot println. So yeah, semicolon. Every line will be always ended with semicolon in between the curly braces as per our logic yesterday. So in this case, simply you have to use the variable age. So here, even string point of view also, when you are using name, if you have to use directly name variable. No need to give double quotes. When you have to give it the double quotes in the sense, whenever you are assigning a value, like this, a real value to the variable, then you have to take the double quotes. But after that, whenever you are using the variable, you have to use directly. There is no point of you do anything. So in this case, what will happen in the JVM memory level? Name. So a value will be Dilip Singh, like that. A value will be stored in your memory and that will be referred by the name variable. Now if you are writing like system.out.println, when JVM moving to the, see, whenever this line is executed, this will happen. Whenever this line is executed, what JVM will do is, JVM will go to the JVM memory point of view. Okay, it's all JVM memory. So what JVM will do, it will go to the memory and it will identify there is a variable available name called as name or not. Yes, there is a variable name. And inside that name, what is the value available? Dilip Singh. So this Dilip Singh value will be replaced in this sorry, in this Dilip Singh value will be replaced in the name variable. So that means ultimately in the name place, what is the value you got? Dilip Singh. So that means you are saying like print it. So that's why now your output will print Dilip Singh. Now in next it will move to the here. Integer a is 30. So that means immediately what it will do in the memory level, it will allocate a value 30. It will store a value 30 and variable name will be given age. Now similarly what will happen whenever it moving to the next line, because JVM will always execute line by line, okay, from the main method. So it will move to the next line. Age, it will go and verify age variable is available or not. Yes, available. So then what is the value? 30. So 30 value will be replaced here. Age will be replaced by replaced. I am telling you. So replaced by 30. So it's all our childhood mathematics only. Like we return like let A equal to 10, let B equal to 20. So what is the formula of A plus B whole square? I'll give you this one also. And I'll say like A square plus B square plus 2AB, like this. Now I will ask you what is the result for above values. What you will do? So then simply in A place you will give 10 square. B place, what you are doing, you are replacing variable names I given and you are replacing 20 squares as a human point of view, and you are writing 2 into A into 10, 10 into B into 20. So like that, in A place you replace it 10, in B place you replace it 20, in A place again 10, like that. Similarly, JVM will also do. So that means, and at the same time, what you are doing the printing. So now 30 value will be printed. Dilip and 30 will be printed now. Okay, so let's see. Compile the program. CMD. Go to always command prompt. Java C. First thing is we have to make sure always compilation of the Java program. No errors in my program. Yes, that's why no compile time errors. String demo. Okay. So see here, Dilip Singh 30 I got. So there is no double quotes. That's what I told you. When you are assigning the value, you have to assign always inside the double quotes. It doesn't mean like the actual name variable contains double quotes also. Just in between the double quotes, whatever you given, that will be taken. Now I will ask you few other things. String, sorry, not string. I'll write down here. Now tell me in this case, what is going to happen? So in this case, what is going to happen? So here, whenever you set name, automatically Dilip Singh value is printed. But here also I given name, but I given in the double quotes. Then what is going to happen here? It is, see, generally println is a method. What is a method and all? You will understand after 2-3 classes. Once we started types of methods, method arguments, there is some explanation about methods. It will take 4 to 5 classes, 3 to 4 classes minimum. Then you will understand method arguments, integer argument like that. So println will always take string value. So string value means already name is a string. That's why you didn't get any compile time error here. It is everything is right. Now in this case, you given directly in the double quotes. That means in this case, what JVM Java will consider is println level you given double quotes. That means it will consider as a string value. So it will print only name in the console level. It is directly going to print name again, but not the value of Dilip Singh. In this case, you will get the output of Dilip Singh. So that means inside system.out.println, whatever you written inside the double quotes, that will be printed as it is on your screen, on your console. Generally, it will be called as console. So that will be printed as it is. So in this case, name will be printed again name. Like simply like this. This is what printed. In this case, Dilip Singh will be printed because in this case, name is a variable you define and that variable you are using. In this case, you are directly defining the value. So that's why it is going to be printed name here. So see here. So you will not get any compile time error. See in this case, what printed? Name again printed. So that means now I'll give you one more point. My name is Dilip Singh. So in this case, what happens? You given again in the double quotes point of view, some statement, the entire statement. And now this will be printed as it is to your console again. Just please make all this practice. See, it is printed as it is. My name is Dilip Singh. So now I'll ask you, I'll take some other data also. See, when you are practicing also, please make practice like this, guys. Day 1 onwards, please start. This will be called as code formatting. So your code should looks like very beautiful. So readable format. So that means please maintain some spaces. Even though as a trainer I am writing, okay, every day with cautious, everything properly, still people are practicing like this. There is no, where is, still people are writing like this. That means they are not following. I don't become lazy. It will not a good for you. If you want to become a good programmer, ethics, you have to maintain code ethics. Because the reason is in my current project, there are people they are not following. I am reporting. I am telling them I am not accepting their code. Not only me, like that everyone. So now onwards, don't write like this. What is the point of this? Where is starting? Where is ending? So that's why you are not spending any investment when you are taking some spaces, when you are moving to the next lines like that. Make sure proper line indentation. Day 1 onwards, it will become your habit automatically. Now my fingers will automatically make all this format. I'm not doing intentionally because same thing is being done by last 12-15 years. So please follow the same line indentation. open it. If possible, class, make like this also. See here how beautiful it is now and how clean it is. Understanding, okay, this is class starting, this is class ending. Hierarchy point of view. Method starting, method ending. In between method, one step again inside that. Logic. Like that, please start at least from today onwards, then you will get the good knowledge. You will become a okay good programmer also. Not about the writing logic. Sometimes it should be in beautiful shape also. So look and feel is more important sometimes than the performance. Okay, so see here. Now I'm writing here 40. So it will be printed as it is. So see here. So it is printed 40. So in this case, println is a method taking 40. So it will be called as overloaded method, method overloading concept that you will understand later point of view. Okay. So this is how you have to write down the system.out.println going further. So if you have a variable name, you can use directly like this. If you want to print that variable value. So if you want to give something static data, I mean some data should be printed like this. You can give it. For example, why I am telling all this is right now, I'm going to give you some assignments today. That's why I'm telling you all these things. So that you will get hands-on where to use variables, how to use semicolons, and you will get a lot of hands-on. For example, I given like this. So that means it will print 5 stars. My biodata, my information. Inside double quotes, blindly you can give whatever you want. That's all it will print for you. So see here now. Compilation, execution. So it is printing my information. So like that, you can start practicing the things like that. I'm going to give you assignments at the end of the session today. I made some assignments ready yesterday and I'll give it to you. Okay. And yeah, so this is all about the string and data type. Now, finally, we are done with the data types, concept of data types, not entire variables. So ultimately what you know right now is when you started with the variables topic, so as part of variables syntax, to create a variable, you need always a data type. So to create a variable, you need always a data type, right? So yes, this is where we started. Continuation to this, what we understood, you need always a data type. So to understand what is this data type, we are done from last 2-3 classes, primitive, non-primitive, numeric values like this. And how to define a variable name is up to your choice. User free, developer free, you can give anything, but data types are reserved. So based on the existing data types, predefined data types, user defined data types point of view, you have to give it. Anyway, it is a long practice going further, you will understand. So variable name and all. So this is what, and after that you understood the data types. So I'm not talking again what is primitive, non-primitives and all. So finally, you understood the types of two types of data types, primitives and non-primitives. Again, non-primitives point of view, user defined, predefined point of view also I explained you. Every class is comes under the non-primitive, not only classes, other concepts also, interfaces, enums and all that you will see at end of the, I mean in between the training also. Okay. So this is all about the data types, how to choose a data type, how to utilize a data type and all. We are done guys. Okay, because if you see here, yeah. So we take an integer, long, all these things. Even yesterday I discussed what is long, what is float to double, when you have to give small l, when you have to give small f. Okay, for float point of view, you have to pass f. For long point of view, L, you have to pass. Other data types, no need point of view. So we discussed all the details, including string today. Okay. So with this, we are having a good idea of what is data type and all. Now let's move back to the concept of the most important. So ultimately what you learn is how to define a variable. You learnt already. How to define a variable in Java. How to define a variable in Java is a question. Then what you will say, yes, the format, the syntax of a defining a variable is first you should define, you should know what is the data type for that variable, and then you will give some variable name, and then you will give some value. If you are already have a value, you will give it. If you don't have a value, you will simply define like this. Like that you will tell it. This is the story we discussed. Now you know what is data type. If it is a numeric value integer, if it is a alphanumeric value string, if it is true false value boolean, like that you will decide. So that is what done now. Now the next topic is the most important one, types of variables. So this is the most important topic as part of the variables. And this is what you have to understand very carefully now. Please concentrate. I'll just explain next 30-40 minutes, very practical point of view. Just concentrate. Here it is. Okay. So here the Java language defined a concept called as variable, and we understood what is a variable. So as a human beings, we know the types of humans are there: male person, female persons, other persons, transgender, something like that, right? Similarly, now what is a variable, but in same time, Java classified variables in entire Java language. Java classified variables into three types. Three types. One is static variables. I'll come back and I'll explain you very clearly what are all these things. Second one is non-static variables. Non-static variables. Third one is local variables. Local variables. So I have always spelling problems, no problem. Okay. So total three types. What are those three types is static variables, non-static variables, local variables. So static variables will be called as class variables also. Non-static variables will be called as instance variables also. But I'll tell you what is the point of instance, what is the point of class. I'll explain everything. So few people will call it as static variables, non-static variables, local variables, class variables, instance variables, local variables. So this is how people will call, but what we have to understand, why Java segregated these three data types. What is the use of these three types of variables, why Java given? What is the intention of Java language? Why they given three types of variables? So how to identify which is a static variable, how to define as a static variable, how to define as a non-static variable, how to define as a local variable. At what time which variable we have to define as a Java developer. As a developer, whenever you created a variable, that will comes always under one of this section. But you should know as a developer at what time I have to create the static variable, at what time I have to create the instance variable, at what time I have to create the local variable. Like that, you have to know that. You should have that knowledge. So let's concentrate on it. Now let's see, first of all, how to do that and all. Okay, so now I'll take some small scenario point of view. Then we will move to the programming point of view. So now, for example, I have a college. Why I am taking college is as student perspective point of view, because here everyone is completed our college life. Now I have a college called as, my college name is ABC College. ABC College. College name itself ABC College. Okay, fine. Now in this college, I have a class, and inside my class, I have students like 60 students. Okay, I'm talking about only one class, 60 students. Okay, fine. Now, out of the 60 students, now I asked you, please collect all 60 students' information. So, what is our task here? It is collecting all 60 students' details. 60 students' details, you have to collect it. And what are the details also I'll give you, just high level point of view. What are the details you have to connect is, first, their name I want. Second thing is their mobile number I want. Third one is their gender I want. Fourth one is name, mobile number, gender, and maybe student ID, their ID also. Fifth one is their college name. Sixth one is their marks. Assume they are having three subjects. So I'll do like this. total marks. So here, give me a second, I'll give you a proper idea. Assume they are having only three subjects, just explanation point of view. Subject 1 marks I want. Subject 2 marks I want. Assume mathematics, physics, chemistry, something like that from our intermediate point of view, whatever it is. 8. Subject 3. So total 3 subjects, I want these 3 marks. Okay. So this is what information I want. And as well as I want to calculate. Finally, I need total marks also. And as well as 8th one is, 9th, 10th one is average of the marks. I want all this information of each and every student. Okay. Yeah, I'll add one more also. 11th one is college established year. When college is started. Well, the college point of view. So now you need to collect all the information from every six student. From the 60 students, you want to do that. Now tell me, you are preparing a white paper. I mean, you are preparing some form or Excel sheet, or maybe you are going for some printing also. You are preparing a form like information form, something like that. Information form. So now when you're preparing the information form, for example, you given like this name, okay, yeah, name, something like that you given, okay. That means they have to fill that forms, fill in the blanks, something like that. I'll write mobile, fill in the blanks. And third one is gender, and you will you will give some check boxes like male as well as female point of view, and something like or others point of view, you can give something like that. Okay, fourth one is their ID, student ID. Fifth one is, yeah, so student ID, they'll write their ID. Fifth one is college name. See there, from this I'm bringing out some points. If you're understanding this, then you can understand those three types of variables. Don't feel like something. So that's what I told you. If you are understanding real time things, you can understand easily. Subject 1 marks. 6 dot subject 1 marks. Seventh one is subject 2 marks. And eighth value, you want subject 3 marks. You are preparing this form play too, and you are going to make a printing this one so that you can share it with all your 60 students. They will fill this form. And eighth, ninth one, okay, leave about the serial numbers. It's all about topic of data. Total marks. Okay, fine. And then 10th average of the marks. And then 11th one established here, college established here. Okay, so yes, this is how a information form you prepared, and you are going for the printing and all. You made this. Now, in this case, what, for example, student number 1 is filling the data, something like ONE1, whatever it is. Please understand the point here. ONE1, and he given his mobile number, something like that, and he selected whatever it is. Okay, mail point of view, like that, he selected mail and everything. Now similarly, he will give his ID also, whatever ID is having, student ID 1. And I'm not taking, so here he will give ABC college. Understand the point. He given ABC college. Okay, fine. Now after that he will give all his marks. He got like 45, 55, 65. or 56. Yeah, total marks. I'm not calculating exactly. Just take like that. Whatever it is, 150, whatever it is. Average I taken something like they got only 55%, something like that. And a college established here. Assume this college started in 2011, something, whatever it is. This is all. Now this is one person entered the data. Now similarly, what will happen on the same form? One more person will enter the data. Like one more student, name is 2 and his mobile number is something like this, and female person, and then student ID 2, and then ABC college, and then he got 66, 76 she got, and 88, and overall percentage they got 70 percentage, 70.99 percentage, whatever it is. Okay, total marks, right? Next data is, yeah, total marks. Assume I'm not calculating exactly, I'm telling you one more time. Don't say like it is addition problem. Just blindly I'm writing 200, whatever it is got, and then they got 77.88 percentage overall marks, and then 2011. So like this, a person entered the third student. Similarly, fourth student entering the data. So I'll write down only 3. Yeah, mobile number 33, something like that, male person, and ID is 3, and something like again ABC college, and then he got only 35, 35, 35, and he got average 100, 105 or whatever it is, and he got 35 average, something like that, and then he college established year is 2000. So like this, every student is filling their data. Now one person came and said, hey man, if you observe here, this is the value. Understand? I'll go value by value. So in this case, what your requirement is collecting all the students' information of 60 students available in the class. You are collecting all their information from the college called as ABC college. And here you defined a variable called as name, and this value is 1. Another student point of view 2, another student point of view 3. So that means it's a different from one object to another object. So it's a different from one object to another object. Similarly, mobile number also. Yes, this person mobile number is different, this person is different, this person is different. Yes. So student to student, it is differentiating. Similarly, gender also. Yes, gender also, student to student. Sometimes, okay, they are male students are there, female students are there. So the data is differentiating between one student to another student. Similarly, student ID also, yes, different student ID, different student ID, yes, it is also differentiating. Similarly, now if you go here, observe here, ABC college, like this, the thing is available. So what you have here, it is now, you have ABC college. ABC college, ABC college, ABC college, like that, all 60 students written ABC college. Fine. Now this is information different based on the real data, whatever they got. One student to another student, average, total, everything is changing. Different data. So this is all different data. Now again, college established here, again they are printing. Okay, so same thing. That means all 60 students given again as 2011. So from this, what you understood? So when you are doing some activity, when you are doing some task, and one more thing, when you are doing the total marks, what you will do, guys, to calculate, you have to calculate the total marks. For that, you will write formula 1. What it is? Total equal to subject 1 plus subject 2 plus subject 3. Like that you will write down. If it is average, equal to total by number of subjects. That means 3. So then you will get the average. So you are doing some calculations and you are entering these values, right? So here, out of all these things, sometimes data is differentiating, sometimes data is same across all the students. and sometimes you are doing some calculations. In between that, you are using some extra operations, some extra things and all. Okay, so why I'm trying to say here it is, now a person said and tell, hey man, are you becoming you mad? So why you given this to the student form? Because the reason is it's already common, it's a one time data. So those are all belongs to the ABC college. Those are all belongs to the ABC college. See, exactly not matching the scenario, but it is somehow matching with our types of variables. So now the one more person said he removed this. Why? There is no use. I mean, no use in the sense I want this information, but asking the student every time they are repeating same data. And tomorrow assume ABC college change it to XYZ college. Now here I given ABC college general in the form level, and I given it is established in the 2011 something like that, and I'm making information like this. So now see what is the advantage in this form. You are not asking the student again and again. You fixed it ABC college 2011 at some place the values, and you are not asking the student. Now the entire other information is completely different from one student to another student. But in the previous approach, college name is common, college name is common, college established year is common always. So 60 students, now think in the computer memory point of view. 60 objects are created, 60 Java objects are created for 60 students. You are keep on, for 60 students the college name is common. For 60 students the college established is year is common. Assume in this case number 1 point of view, your ABC college change it to XYZ college. Then what is going to happen in this case? Now in this case, what? 60 places. You maintained already the data in the 60 places. Now you have to do in 60 places modifications to make it as ABC to XYZ. But in this case, somehow I felt like this is a common data across all these students. I felt at one, I kept my data at only one place. I defined at only one place. So in future, if I want to do, so here first thing is in 60 places you define the value. That means 60 memory allocations will happen. 60 times memory allocations happen, and you are for the same value across all the students you allocated 60 times. But in this case, one memory location you allocated for all these 60 students. Okay, in this case only one memory allocation happened. So that means here you are wasting lot of space. You are wasting lot of memory in this case. In your form also, you are wasting unnecessarily all this data because it's a fixed data. It is a common data, common or fixed data. But here, common and fixed you maintain at one place. So tomorrow when you are making to ABC to XYZ, what will happen? You will make change in only one place. So that means in one place you commonly maintained it and you are renamed it to XYZ. Then automatically what happened? All 60 students belongs to the XYZ class. All 60 students belongs to the XYZ class. In this case, what happening? If you are making here XYZ, then it looks like only one belongs to the XYZ college. What about the student 2? So for the student 2 also, you have to make the XYZ. So see, even in small example point of view, myself I am taking longer time to update all these values. XYZ. Similarly, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. 60 places you have to do that. If it is only I'm talking about 60. But in real-time applications, when you are working for banking applications and all, millions of objects will be available. Millions of customers will be available. ICICI Bank account holders. Millions of account numbers will be there. That means millions of customers are there. So then how you are going to, that's all. So it's all about memory management. So ultimately what you have to understand here it is, the Java's given these three types of variables to deal with the memory management. To deal with the memory management point of view. I'll take same example with respect to an example now. I mean, we will cover all this example point of view only I will cover. So in this case, second approach, definitely when you are going with first approach and second approach, you will always say like second approach is better approach. Why? The reason is first thing is you are saving lot of space. so that you can utilize that space for other reasons. Point number one. In a common language point of view, I'm telling you. Point number one. Point number two, maintenance. That means in future, ABC change it to XYZ. You are making change at only one place. Automatically, all other 60 students, 1000 students, 10,000 students are always belongs to the XYZ class, and you are maintaining it in a common position, in a common location, common area. So that's why people will prefer always the 60 students belongs to XYZ. But here in this form you specially mention. Now in this case 3 belongs to the ABC college. Point of view, the data is confusing. So that means you have to maintain, when it comes to things, maintenance is becoming very difficult. You have to go to each and every student level, you have to change it. And here you, even though this value is not going to change, but you made 60 students. Okay, 60 students are entering the same value. Assume some reason one person entered as his date of birth year 1999, something like that. Whatever the confusion or whatever it is, as a human we can do the mistakes. So that means the data, there might be a chance of data mismatching. But in this case, you maintain at only one place. It's always constant value because the college started in 2011. History is always remains as 2011 only. So that means the value is same. So, however, in our real life point of view, whenever we are doing small things in our real life point of view, however, we are thinking very wisely and we are managing the data in our real lives, in our what college level, in our real life point of view, when you are making Excel sheet also. So what you will do, you will make some Excel sheets, you will make some section like friends, friend number, friend mobile number, something like that. You will do that. Why are you doing? So you are representing friends. So that means whatever the names you written in under this section, now they are all belongs to the friends. It's not like you will write down Suresh and in the next line friend. Okay, it looks good only. So you are having 100 friends. So are you going to repeat 100 times friend, friend, friend? No, simply what you will do, you will write heading as a friends, and you are writing Suresh, Naresh, so and so, ABC, XYZ, everyone is my friend. So all the people becoming now what? All the people automatically belongs to the friend section. So that is how you are managing the data, right? Similarly, in Java point of view also, to deal with the memory, that's what I told you. Whether they given types of variables, types of data types, it's all about memory management point of view. So that's why Java is still popular. That's why still Java applications are giving more performance when comparing with the other programming languages. The classification of data types, the classification of variables with respect to different requirement, different scenarios. Okay, the Java whatever is given, those things are making Java application performances more and more when comparing with the other programming languages like Python, all these things. Okay, so we will see now what exactly static variables and how to define and all we will see. Today I'll continue class until 9:15. That means next half an hour I'll continue. So okay, now I'll keep this example as it is and I'll try to implement in this way. I'll try to implement in this way also by using these three variables. We will see. Now let's take what is static variable. Just remember this example in your mind. I'll take it up. I'll bring it back again. Okay, so see here, first thing, what is static variable? So you know how to define a variable, but what is a static variable, where to define and all, you don't know, right? So let me give some notes, points here, not notes, points, and then based on that, we'll do that. And I'll explain you again practically. When you define static variable, what will happen? When you define non-static variable, what will happen? In a JVM memory point of view, again I will explain you. Continuation to this. Okay, point number one. When you will say a variable as a static variable is, whenever we define a variable see my spelling, I will always have little bit spelling mistakes because I've completed my education in only in Telugu medium. So at that time, but I am okay right now speaking in English point of view, writing also. Why I'm telling this point is don't worry about your speaking language also. So you don't feel like I have less communication. Even when I entered into IT industry, when I came to Hyderabad also, so I don't know how to speak how are you. I don't know the difference between how are you versus who are you also properly. I'm not saying like that. So I used to hesitate to speak that word also. Hey man, how are you, like that, or who are you? So that is there is a lot of confusion. Even I don't know. Sometimes I used to confuse whether versus whether. Okay, so that's what. These are all things common for every student life. Okay, don't worry. When to use, what is the difference between these things also. I am also used to confuse at that time. Okay, so in place of actual human speaking weather point of view, I used to write down climate weather point of view. So those mistakes are common in everyone's life, especially who is having a little bit communication skills. Don't hesitate. Start speaking. Start writing. Don't think about others what they are feeling. So, for example, I am writing a lot of places. AB is always swapping. So I don't know. That is how I'm trying to correct from last 6 7 years, but I don't know, automatically my fingers are going to do, but it's okay, concept is delivering, right? That's what I will feel always. I will never care about my spelling mistakes. You are getting my knowledge, that's all. So please feel you are also same point of view. Don't bring down yourself. Okay, please keep on moving and get the knowledge and try to get the more communication skills also. So like that, just motivate yourself. Okay, so whenever we define a variable inside a class, inside a class and outside of methods. So I told you already, once we are completing the variables, we will go with the section called as methods, types of methods. There also you have again types of methods, static methods, non-static methods. Why I am telling you right now, here it is, understand the static or non-static right now itself, because tomorrow once this concept is completed, I will move to the topic called as methods, and I will give you like heading called as types of methods, and I will say like we have two types of methods. One is static methods and second one is non-static methods. So that means whatever you are understanding right now with respect to variables point of view, static and non-static, same formula, same rules applicable for with respect to methods also. There again I will not explain you again in detail what is static concept, what is non-static concept. Right now I will explain, and same thing is applicable here also when you are moving to the methods section. So, okay, so that's why please concentrate right now only. That's what. When you are learning Java, one concept is interlinked with other concept. Interlinked with other concepts. So whatever you are learning today is going to be interlinked with whatever you are going to learn after 1 month. Yes, it is going to be interlinked with that. So that's why please maintain the sequence of order, whatever the way I am teaching. I mean, whatever the order we are going through the classes, and please make your practices up to date with old concepts also. Okay, so please remember these points. Okay, we will see that later. Fine, sorry. Yeah, so let's come back and let's see on high level what is static variables and all. I'll try to tell you. So whenever we define a variable inside a class and outside of methods, why I am using methods here, it is in future you are going to write down more than one method. Once you are learning the types of methods and all, we will not only main method, we will write down a lot of other methods also. How and all we will see that later. I think somewhere we written earlier. First program, my information. No. Yeah. So like this, you will understand how many methods we can write down. It is a static method. If you remove static, then it will become non-static method. So that is what you will understand. So that means in a Java class, you can write down n number of methods. That is what my point here it is. That means more than one method you can write down. That's why I used this statement. So whenever we define a variable inside a class and outside of methods with a keyword, whenever I said keyword, that is given by the Java language called as, with a keyword called as, or I can write down like with keyword static, or called as static variables. You can define more than one variable in any point of view. In a class, you can define more than one variable. So what is the statement I given? What is a static variable? Is a variable which is declared inside a class and outside of the methods, outside of the all methods, with a keyword static or called as static variables. So that means syntax point of view, I'll write down public, class, and class name. You know this. So now understand the things. This is class opening, class ending. Fine. Now I told you inside a class, outside of the method. So that means assume I written main method. I'm not writing everything. So this is main method. Assume tomorrow you have method 1. So you will understand how to write down more methods also. Just right now I'm writing like this. Method 2, something like that. So that means now in this case my Java, this class contains more than one method. Now as per my statement, a variable should be declared inside a class and outside of all methods. So that means, can I declare in this area? No, because it comes under the inside the method. If I declare here, inside the method. If I declare here, inside the method. So instead of that, for example, if I declared here a variable, something like I'm writing integer age. Okay, so can I somewhat correct what a variable inside a class? Yes, it is a variable inside the class. Cool. Outside of all methods. Yes, outside of all methods. These are all three methods you are having. You are not written inside this method, inside this method, inside this method. So outside of the all the methods and inside the class. But I told you with a word called as static, those variables will be called as static variables. So that means the static variable syntax comes like this. Static keyword. I told you keyword. Keyword means given by the Java language. What is the use of static variables? We will understand. And then followed by your variable syntax. What is your variable syntax? Data type, space, variable name equal to, if you have value, you can give it. If you don't have value, without value. But whatever it is, generally I will take. Yeah. So this is the way this can. So it's all variable syntax what we learnt from last 3-4 classes. Integer age 20, string name Dilip, string email dilip@gmail.com. But today the static variable is added with a word called a static space. Please maintain spaces. So now this variable is not a static variable. Somewhat it is satisfied, but there is no keyword called as static. So if I'm adding in between this static, now this variable is a static variable. But what is the reason behind it? We'll come back. Just only thing is, as of now, we are understanding how to define, how to identify. But story behind static, non-static, why Java given, at what time we have to take in real-time application perspective point of view and all, I'll come back. Okay, so this will be called as a static variable. So tomorrow, inside the main method, assume static string name equal to Dilip I. So if someone else given this program and asking you, can you identify how many static variables available in this? So this one comes under the static variable means no. It's an invalid static variable. So Java will not allow. First of all, Java compiler will say, as per Java rules, what is the Java rule? It should be always inside the class, outside of the methods, and should be in the static. Then only you can call it static variable. So if you given static keyword means it should be always located inside the class, outside of the methods. But inside the methods, you cannot do that. Okay, that is what the point here it is. So now it comes under the different section. I'll come back to that. But as a static variable, why I am saying invalid? You defined inside the method, but my statement is saying outside of the method. So that's why it's a valid. It's a invalid one. You cannot define inside the methods. Okay, so that is all. Just remember the things. This is valid one. This is valid one. Okay, fine. Next. You understood the rules, right? This is the rule you have to remember. Inside the class, outside of the methods with the static keyword always. So how many static variables you can define means in a class? We can define, depends on our requirement. N, why I am using N means many means. N means many guys. Generally simple, we will use, right? N number of. static variables. So depends on your requirement, you can define 0 or more, up to your choice. But what time, what variable you have to take, I'll tell you that. Static, string, college name, something like that. So yes, two static variables available inside the class. So this is all about the writing the defining the static variable. By why are you writing? What is the difference between static and non-static? We'll come back. Now let's come back to the non-static variables. Second one is non-static. And why static is calling as a class variables also, I'll come back. Just we are knowing perspective, syntax perspective. So next one is non-static, and it will be called as instance variables also. Instance. I'll clear this point. What is the point of instance also, I'll clear. So we are in the theory point of view, right? Now see, my statement is how it is changing. The name itself telling non-static. So my statement is like this. Whenever we define a variable inside a class and outside of methods, okay, without, there is no key. I mean, whenever we define a variable inside a class and outside of methods, those are all called as, non-static or instance variables. So what is the point you understood from here? Define a variable inside a class outside of the methods. That's all. There is no extra keyword, and you should not add any static also. And at the same time, you don't have any extra keyword also in this case. So that means in this case point of view, how your syntax comes with respect to non-static variables is, it looks like regular variable only, like whatever you lent integer age equal to something like that. So you will not use any keywords. Like however you have static, like here you don't have any keyword like non-static or instance, something like that. Simply variable name, sorry, data type, variable name equal to value. That's all. So that means now, yes, these two, yeah, if you see here again, my statement is valid. Outside of the methods, inside the class, yes, these two variables I declared inside the class. Inside the class means this one, guys, opening curly brace, closed curly brace. So line number 1076 to 1093, this is all comes under the in between the class. Main method means in between this whatever you are writing, this is main method logic. This is method 1 logic, this is method 2 logic. So that means out of all methods inside the class. So this will be called as non-static variables. But what is the difference between static and non-static in a real-time point of view, memory point of view? I'll come back. Okay, just identification point of view we are taking. Now the third one is local variables. They are calling, right? Yeah, they're given calling it as a local variables. Okay, so now in this case, the statement is when a variable or variables, whatever it is, when a variable is declared in the sense I already told you, creating, declaration, defining, same thing. First time you are writing the variable. Okay, so wherever you are creating the first time variable, guys, it's all about the concept of where you are creating the first time variable. That is what the concept. Okay, whenever a variable is declared or defined or created, whatever it is, inside a method called as local variable, inside a method. So inside a method, whenever you define a variable, that will be called as a local variable. Not only method, There are same thing. I can give you one more statement also with respect to local variables point of view. What is the statement I can give you? Here it is. Whenever a variable is declared, defining, created, defined, whatever it is, inside a block. So inside a block means tomorrow, I mean in future you will get these concepts. Constructors, if blocks, try blocks, catch blocks, finally blocks, etc. etc. Some blocks, some concepts you will have. Finally, catch, blocks, etc. 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 You have some concepts. And inside this blocks, whatever the whenever you created a variable, that is also called as a local variable. But what is the purpose of it and all? I'll come back. With a practical point of view, we'll come back. So that means now see, let me write down the syntax. Now I will open one class and we will identify one real-time class. We will open and we will identify whether it is a static variable or non-static variable point of view. I'll ask you some questions. You just try to understand. We will open directly one class. We will identify based on this. Now see here. In this case also syntax variable point of view, you will not have any separate keywords like local, something like that. So that means only static variables point of view, you will use always static keyword. But whether it is a local variable or instance variable, you don't have any keyword. But the place where you created variable, based on that, it will become non-static, it will become local variable. That's all. Okay, so that means now in this case, what I'm trying to say here it is, for example, integer year 2024, whatever it is I created. So now in this case, string name, string email. Yes. So in this case, this is instance variable only. Still, this is non-static variables only. So these variables I can call it as local variables. So tomorrow you have some if conditions, those if blocks and all, you will write down inside the methods only. So here also you can create like string, gender, something, whatever it, I'm just blindly creating it. So that means this variable integer here you created first time. Inside where? Main method. Inside the block. Not out, okay, inside the class only, but not the outside of method. Inside the method, this is also inside the method, this is also inside the method, something like that. Boolean, are you okay? Something like that. So this is also, this is also, this is all comes under the local variables. Why? Yes, that is what I told you. Whenever a variable is declared inside a method called as local variable. Yes, this is what I told you. Local variables. So whenever a variable is declared inside a block, something like if conditions, tomorrow you will have some constructor topics also. Those are also comes under the local variables only. So it's a, you will understand step by step. So this is a variable, this is a local variable. So this is how you have to identify the local variables. I mean, you have to define the local variable. So what we understood from our discussion right now is simply we understood like how we are going to create the static variables, how we are going to create a non-static variables, how we are going to create a local variable, in which places we will create, that is what high level we understood. But in what time which variable we have to take, if you are taking static, if you are taking non-static, how internally JVM is going to handle with those variables. In real-time application point of view or in general Java programming point of view, which variable we have to take and all we will see in the next class. But what I will do is control shift, I don't know, I am opening some class randomly, predefined class given by the Java language. These classes you will introduce later guys. Okay, so leave about, these are all you will understand later. Okay, so if you see here, yeah, come back from here, I'll see here, leave about final, understand only static, int, leave about private and final also, this you will come back later, you will introduce later, final variables, private variables, like that. Understand? Now, this is a class called as array list. So you are using static int default capacity equal to 10. So that means this is representing a static variable. Yes, inside the class, outside of the methods. Similarly, static something like that. Now I will show you. What is this? Can I call it as is it a static variable or local variable? Can any one of you tell me, is it a static or local? Why local? How local? So if you observe here, is it defined inside any method, any block? See, still it is class opening only. This is where your class is open. You are not started any methods. Observe here, int size you given. This is where your methods, your constructors are started. This variable integer size is defined outside of the all methods. See, below you are having lot of methods. These are all methods, but this is declared where? Outside the method. Outside the method. So that's why it is an instance variable. Outside methods. So that's why it is an instance variable. Now if I go down, so this is comes under tomorrow a constructor topic. Okay, you will understand later. Now this is also leave it. I'll show you somewhere else. Yeah, you will understand all these OR operators, AND operators and all. I'll just come back. Any variables? Simple variable I'm looking instead of everything. Yeah, now see here, you define a variable called as something last. These people define a variable something called as last. Leave about all the what is last and all. They define where? Inside the method. So now can I call, see, variable wise last is also a local variable, not a instance variable. So when you can say a variable as an instance variable, so if you see here size, it is defined inside the class, outside of all methods. That's why it is a instance variable. But if you define inside the methods, see now if you see here, yes, fence -1. So this is, I'm calling it as a integer. First time you are creating this variable and inside a method called as some other method, but you defined here. So it's a local variable. So that is how you have to remember you have to identify the difference between static and non-static as well as local variables. But what is the real use, at what time you have to go for? So in the next class, I'll discuss a very practical point of view. I'll discuss, okay, where to define what type of variable. This is what I'll discuss, practical point of view, and where to define what type of variables. If you are not following, okay, the actual, the actual concept of each variable type, what will be the disadvantages? In case if you are not following properly, what is the disadvantages we are having in the real-time point, in the memory management point of view? What are the disadvantages you are having? What are the disadvantages you are having? Those are all discussions I'll bring in the next. So it will become completely practical. So at what time you have to go for the static variable? At what time you have to go for the non-static variable? At what time you have to go for the local variables? So in which scenario, where to create, what to create and all, you will see. If you are not following, then what are the drawbacks? What are the disadvantages you will get in your application? So those are all discussions I'll bring in the next class. With that, you will almost done with the types of variables also. So once your types of variables is completed, then we will move to the types of methods. Okay, there also if you observe here, why I am telling you all this right now is, if you see here, here also you have static methods, non-static methods. So once in the next class, once you are understanding what is the difference between static versus non-static, that is what, where to define what type means, we will discuss like static versus non-static versus local. So these are all we will discuss very clearly. Then that will help you to understand in this case also. Okay, so please practice. And next point here it is. What is the my point here it is? I from next class will be on from Monday again. Okay, the reason is I am taking some break and due to some personal reasons, I mean personal things from my office, I've taken leave also. So I'm just going on some break. So from tomorrow to Sunday, you don't have classes, and we will connect again on Monday on same time only. From again Monday onwards, it's a regular class. I'm just taking a little bit break, so I need a break. Okay, so it's all due to some other reasons. I'm just on the vacation point of view. So we don't have classes from tomorrow to next Sunday. Anyway, tomorrow is public holiday. There is no class generally also. And Saturday, Sunday, weekend point of view, I taken the thing. So I'm just taking a break. So yeah, I'm giving you assignments. There only I'm coming this stress. Okay, so meanwhile, what I can expect you from is, please practice all the concepts one more time. Go back and define the things. I'll give you that. Okay, Monday again we will connect back on the same time, same classes. And on Monday I'll discuss all this point of view. Now, when it comes to assignments point of view, let me explain. I have some assignments created yesterday and I'll give it to you. Yeah. First assignment is this one. Even if possible by end of the day, I'll add few more assignments here, guys. Okay, these things I'll upload in the Google Drive again. So what is that is, don't say like, sir, this is very simple assignment. I know that. We are going from step 1, step 2, step 3 like that. We are not going again step 10 at a time like that. So I know that this is very simple. People who already knows the little bit Java. But people who just started with the Java, for them, why we will give these things is, they should know the line indentation. They should know where to give semicolons, where to make spaces. They should play with the system.out.println. They should play with keywords. Okay, to get hands on a Java file, we will give these assignments. So you have to write down a Java program and it should print output like this. First line will be like this, second line will be your name. Second program, write a pattern like this, print a pattern like this. Third program, print a pattern like this. Third program, print a pattern like this. So I don't know how will you achieve it. How will you do that? By using system.out.println only, you have to do all these things. Only system.out.println. So inside double quotes, I told you already. That's why I discussed today one point. Whatever you written inside the double quotes, that will be printed as it is on the console level in the main method. So that's why whatever you want to do it and bring your output like this. And then print something numbers also in this format. I know that it's very simple, but it's all about making your hands are getting habituated to the Java language, so that you will get a lot of understanding where to give spaces. Okay, how it is behaving Java language when you are giving the spaces. So these are all things you will get hands on, where you are closing the opening and all. So that is assignments, 4 assignments. And little bit, that's what I told you, complexity will increase when you are going through the assignments. Second assignment point of view, I given multiple again in this. Okay, don't. So in the second text file, print your own biodata information by using all variables. So now you know all these variables. So based on that, print your own biodata. It's up to your choice. When you are taking your age, what type of variable you will take, your mobile number, what you will take, your average of marks, your total marks. Okay, whatever it is, are you passed or not? Are you something like character, gender? It's up to your choice. As part of your biodata, you have to print on the out screen level, and you have to use all these variables. How to use, where to use. Okay, what type of data, what type of variables you will use, what type of data you will use across these 9 data types. It's up to your choice. But create a program by covering these 9 variables and assign some values and print those values. So similarly, create one more. So now next assignment is create more than one object for a class. and I given class name also person. Take the class name as person and define variables like this. Okay, I think you are not done this one, right? So if you feel like no, you cannot understand, leave it. So this assignment, just leave it. But what I can tell you here it is, okay, I'll make sure like this. You are not done with this. Okay, once you are done that, then you can take. I'll give you some other way assignment like this. I'll write give right now assignments. Please take this for all assignments by in this 3 4 days. Okay, and yeah, what is this assignment here? It is okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, fine. Okay, 2 3 4. Okay, so I'll change like this. You don't know probably about much about all these things. What I will give you is okay. So what I will give you here it is create 10 objects. Create 10 objects for this class. Okay, and there is a rule. I already told you one point, so that you will encounter automatically. So what is that rule is when you define variable names, variables should not be duplicated. So that means if you written a class A, you will I will come back to these points automatically. So let's encounter on your own first. That is what my idea behind this assignments. So define where it is. Yeah, create 10 objects for this class. You know how to create an object. I given you already syntax. In the main method, write like person p1 equal to new person p1. So I'll write down one thing. P1 equal to new person. This is what the way you are creating the object. Okay, so like that you have to create 10 objects and try to give same object 2 times. Same object name. Same object name 2 times. Okay, fine. And note down what is error you are getting. That is what I want. Here in this case, I don't want output. What is the error you are getting? If you are giving duplicates 2 times, person P1 again new person, so you given two same object name 2 times. If you given P2 P3, there is no problem. But if you given same 2 times, what it is you are going to get some error, and note down that what is the error you are getting. Okay, and maybe once you are noting down, you corrected that. Print all objects names. Simply like that, I will write shortcut SOP generally. I will write down like this P1. So whatever P1 you created. Similarly, SOP of P2, SOP of P3, SOP of P4. SOP means system.out.println. Okay, so that's what I just written. So please practice until this. After that, you will see static, non-static point of view on Monday onwards. So these are the assignments. Just take right now. This is more enough. And if you need more also, I'll tell you. Yeah, Nang, you can upload. I created one separate folder for you, okay, for all of 5 to 6 people. So I'll give you that folder access to you, editor access. In that, what you will do is, yeah, so I'll tell you, okay. I'll tell you on the WhatsApp. You just follow that and you can upload all your things. I'll tell you what you have to do. Okay, thanks. So just follow all this, and people whoever is listening on YouTube also, just please follow these assignments on your own. Okay. So you will it's all making your hands dirty, and I'm making you comfort on the Java keywords, comforting on the how to write down semicolons, way to write down curly braces, parenthesis braces. So these are all things you will get hands on with this point of view. So that's why please achieve these assignments, and then you can go with this Monday onwards with these assignments. Okay, so these are all I uploaded already in the Google Drive. Just check from the people whoever is here. Okay, whoever is paid. So just go there, download from there and do that. Okay, thanks to everyone. Let's connect on Monday and I will update you. Next class will be on Monday. So next class on Monday. Monday means the date I don't know. 7th. 7th October. Again, 7th timing is same only. Okay. So meanwhile, please follow all these things. That's all. Thanks.